asked for an equal, and this is what you find. Light the fires. The great hunt begins.
That man is gone. You can't save me, Peter.
The one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same.
Most of the time the heroes win, but sometimes the villains actually pull it off. And trust me, it gets ugly. We're talking Spider-Man getting buried alive, flesh-eating heroes, and half the entire universe disappearing into a cloud of dust. Here's 6 times the villains actually won. First up, Kraven's last hunt. Now Kraven isn't just some guy in a lion vest. He's a seasoned hunter who wants to prove that he's the best. And when he gets the chance, he doesn't just defeat Spider-Man, he takes it to the next level. Shoots him with a tranquilizer dart, blasts him with his rifle, and finally buries him alive. Kraven takes over Spider-Man's life. He doesn't just pretend to be Spidey. He hunts down Peter's rogues and defeats them in ways Peter never would. Kraven's more ruthless, using lethal force without hesitation. But when Peter finally escapes and defeats Kraven, Kraven's world crumbles. He was so focused on proving that he was the best, that when Peter comes back, it shatters his sense of purpose. Feeling like a failure, Kraven takes his own life, because he couldn't live with the idea of being defeated by his greatest prey. In the end, Kraven wins. It's a hollow victory because the obsession with proving himself ultimately led to his own downfall. Next up, we've got Superior Spider-Man. This one is wild because the villain who wins here is Doc Ock. After an epic battle with Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus swaps bodies with Peter Parker. Peter, in Otto's broken body, dies, and Doc Ock takes over his life. But not just as Spider-Man like Kraven, but as Peter. Ock starts to think, hey, I could actually do a better job. And in a lot of ways, he does. Doc Ock, with Peter's memories and powers, starts running things in a more ruthless, efficient way. He doesn't hesitate, he's more willing to cross lines and make hard choices. He uses Peter's relationships, like Mary Jane, for his own gain. And he even takes down some of Peter's old foes in ways Peter never would've. Doc Ock takes control of Peter's entire life, including his job at Horizon Labs, the company Peter's been working for. Under Ock's leadership, Horizon Labs flourishes. He improves the company, makes groundbreaking advancements, and even takes credit for some of Peter's work. Everything seems to be running perfectly for Ock. Then the Superior Spider-Man reigns supreme, and the Spider-Man's enemies are afraid of him because the new Spider-Man has no problem using lethal force. Eventually, Peter Parker comes back. Spoiler alert. But during this period, Doc Ock's reign as the superior version of Spider-Man is a big win for him. At least in his twisted mind. It's a strange win because it's a villain stepping into Spider-Man's shoes, and for a while, he actually does the job better. But it's still twisted because it's Ock, a man who wants to control everything, taking over a hero's life. Now we're diving into Dark Reign, where Norman Osborn gets the ultimate power move. After the Secret Invasion event, where the Skrulls infiltrate the Earth, Osborn steps in as the new top dog. He's got the public on his side after taking down the Skrulls, so he's essentially seen as a hero. But behind the scenes, he's a full-on villain, running things with his twisted agenda. Osborn becomes the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he rebrands as Hammer and starts putting his own people in power. Some seriously dangerous people like the Dark Avengers, a team of villains posing as heroes. He's also got his sights set on controlling every major superhero organization, turning the world's greatest protectors into his pawns in his game. What's crazy is how well it works. Osborn actually pulls it off. He's got the government, the media, and the superhero community in his pocket, manipulating everything from behind the scenes. Even though he's clearly a villain, the world is essentially in his hands. The villains win because they get to operate in the light, and everyone's too distracted by Osborn's hero act to notice what's really going on. For a while, Norman Osborn is one of the most powerful men in the world, and it's a huge victory for him. He's not some villain anymore, he's in charge of everything. Next up we got Old Man Logan. A brutal alternate future where the villains have not only won, but they've remade the world in their image. In this timeline, the supervillains united under Red Skull's leadership and systematically defeated the heroes. The United States is divided into territories controlled by various villains. Dr. Doom, the Kingpin, the inbred Hulk gang, and the Red Skull himself, who has declared himself as president. The countryside is a barren wasteland, and the few remaining heroes are either dead or in hiding. Logan, now older and disillusioned, lives in Sacramento with his wife and children. He's given up his Wolverine persona after being manipulated into killing his own X-Men teammates in a tragic illusion created by Mysterio. When his family is murdered by the Hulk gang, a group of inbred descendants of Bruce Banner, Logan is forced to confront his past and seek vengeance. The story follows Logan's journey across the dystopian America, where he encounters remnants of the fallen heroes and faces off against the villains who now rule. Ultimately, Logan confronts Red Skull, decapitating him with Captain America's shield, and he begins to rebuild, symbolizing a glimmer of hope in a world dominated by villainy. Alright, now we're getting into Marvel Zombies, where things get seriously messed up. Picture this, the Marvel Universe, but with one small difference. Everyone's a zombie. And no, we're not talking about the typical slow-moving zombies here. These are Marvel zombies. The heroes and villains alike have all been infected by a virus that turns them into undead creatures. But the twist is, they still have their powers and some of their mind intact. The worst part, they're still aware of what they're doing. So you get a zombie Spider-Man who's fully aware that he's chomping down on Aunt May and MJ. Or the Hulk, whose brain is still in there, but now he's just a walking, green, rage-fueled monster who just devours everything in his path. And it's not just about the physical apocalypse. The heroes turned zombies are the ones who win here. They become the villains and take over everything, not just the Earth, but every other world in their universe too. They're unstoppable because they still have their powers, and they're all too willing to kill and consume anyone in their way. Even when some of the remaining uninfected try to fight back, they're way outnumbered. The former heroes now rule the universe, and with no one left to stop them, they start devouring other planets. It's a complete flip of the usual power dynamic, where the heroes are the villains and reign supreme in a world where survival is a twisted form of victory. And finally is a story you all know, Infinity War, where Thanos actually pulls off his biggest win. We all know Thanos is after the Infinity Stones in Infinity War. He isn't just collecting them for kicks, he's on a mission to balance the universe by wiping out half of all life. In the comics, Thanos' motivation is rooted in his obsession with Mistress Death. He literally wants to win her affection by causing mass death, making his actions more personal and twisted. However, in the movie, he believes the universe is overpopulated and isn't trying to wipe out half of all life. He'll create balance and prevent its destruction. In both versions, Thanos gets all 6 stones, and with a snap of his fingers, half the universe dies. This is a huge win for Thanos because he accomplishes what he set out to do, and he does it in a way that no hero ever could come close to stopping. The Avengers and their allies are left broken, with half their teammates gone in an instant. Thanos doesn't just win a battle, he literally reshapes the universe according to his vision. What's wild is that in the movie, Thanos actually believes he's doing the right thing, and after the snap, he retires to a peaceful life, convinced he's saved the universe. His victory isn't just about the battle, it's about the sense of balance, his twisted vision coming to life. The heroes eventually reverse his actions with time travel, but in that moment, Thanos doesn't just get the stones, he gets exactly what he wanted, a universe with half its population gone, and his sense of balance in place. And that's a wrap on some of the wildest times the villains actually won in the Marvel Universe. From Kraven taking down Spider-Man to Thanos wiping out the universe, and Norman Osborn running the country. These stories show just how crazy things can get when the bad guys actually pull off their evil plans. It's not always about brute force, sometimes it's about the villains outsmarting the heroes, playing the long game, and totally flipping the script. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the comics you love. Drop a comment for part 2 because there's plenty more stories where these came from. Until next time, stay heroic.